What's going on, guys? John and Jack here with another episode of Talking Ball, and today we're looking at the wing position for the 2017 NBA Draft. And we classify wings as guys who play out on the perimeter, kind of shooting guards, small forwards, guys who can shoot the three ball, create a shot maybe, play some good perimeter defense, just all-around guys who in this draft class, there's really no shortage of those guys. And they're, Jack, we'll get into your top five in a second, but I think any top five list looks pretty stacked for this position. And all these guys will be gone, I'd say, by mid-first round if, no issues crop up for them. So, Jack, get us started here with what your top five list looks like.
Right. So, and important to note, just to even clear it up even further, basically, we're including two guards and small forwards traditionally in this wing grouping. So at number 5, I have Luke Kennard, the shooting guard from Duke. He's such a smart player, and just his ability to score in multiple facets as well as be a playmaker offensively. He should be able to play in the NBA for many years to come and have great success on that end. At number 4, Malik Monk, the shooting guard from Kentucky. If this were just a shooting guard ranking, he'd be number 1, but this is a wing ranking, so he's number 4. His ability to score and to shoot over guys is bar none in this class, and if that skill translates, man, is he going to be fun to watch at the next level just in terms of pure shot making. At my number 3 spot, Jason Tatum, the wing prospect from Duke. Important to note, the top 3 guys are very close, and Tatum is the most polished of these prospects. He can do just his ability to score from the mid-range area and have precise moves and a plan in place when he goes to score the basketball is really second to none in this draft class. And his developed game is going to carry him, I think, at the next level. It's just a question of, his athleticism isn't quite where these next 2 guys are. And number 2, the best athlete of this grouping is Josh Jackson. He's also arguably the best passer, and that's why his skill set has so many teams just up and roared, really, because they're excited about this guy. To me, just questions about his jumper as well as his maturity, but we'll see. Hopefully he proves me wrong. I'm always rooting for these guys to have success. And my number 1 guy here is Jonathan Isaac. I just think he's going to be able to develop to do pretty much everything you want out of a basketball player. Right now, you can plug him into any team and he's going to have success. And I just think he's going to continue to improve his game. A la some of these wing prospects who've come out a little bit later on in the draft, though, like, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler. You've seen these 3-and-D guys improve rapidly year by year, and I think Isaac's the next one.
All right, so getting into the top 3 specifically, Jack, those 3 guys all have really pretty different skill sets. Isaac more of,
Absolutely,
like you said, a 3-and-D guy. Tatum is, the combo forward scorer who can potentially at some point be your team's number 1 scorer down the road. And Josh Jackson is just a kind of athletic, two-way type of guy who does a little bit of everything, but maybe doesn't have one clear trait that separates him from the other players. Of these 3 guys, which one do you think has the highest ceiling going forward for a team? A guy that can, after a few years develop and potentially be a blue chip type player?
Without question, it's Jonathan Isaac, and that's the reason he's my number 1 guy here. If the draft was simply about what could you do for me today, I'd have to say Josh Jackson or Jason Tatum, excuse me,
right?
Because those 2 guys are definitely a little bit ahead of him right now. However, I will say Isaac's length definitely gave Tatum a bit of trouble in their matchups, and so just his ability to defend alone, I think, is going to translate very well. And for all these guys, really, Tatum, the knock on him has been his defense, but I think he's actually a much better defender than people give him credit for. None of these guys really have, a weakness. They're three very, very good prospects, and I want to make that very clear.
All right, so let's just quickly talk about the other two guys there in your top five, Malik Monk and Luke Kennard. They're kind of almost similar players, I'd say, just in terms that they're really going to add scoring to your team more so than anything else, in my opinion, those two guys. Which one do you think has the biggest just safety net, that they're going to come in and they may not be a star, but they're going to be someone who contributes to your team and that you can rely on for the coming future?
Well, with the way we phrased that question there, John, it's definitely Luke Kennard. He, just because with Monk, and I'm saying if, I don't necessarily, it's a question, but if he's not able to translate his shot making to the next level, what else can he do for you? And I think Luke Kennard, his ability to get his shot in multiple different ways, as well as just his headiness in terms of playmaking, being in the right spots defensively, it is just much more developed than Monk's is currently. Having said that, Monk is the guy who could be the star of the two, if you're really looking objectively here.
All right, so finishing this video up, Jack, let's get into some of the sleepers at the wing position. Who are some guys that you have your eye on that you think can be boom or bust type guys and that will ultimately help an NBA team down the road?
Yeah, there's definitely a few guys in this class, and I'm just going to mention names briefly here because I want to give a few guys some shouts so you guys can maybe go look at them yourselves and form your own opinions here. But Wesley Iwundu's a guy from Kansas State who's been rising draft boards lately, and definitely has the size. He played a lot more with the ball in his hands, and so he does have a higher basketball IQ than some of these other guys. And so the question is, will he play really nicely or play well rather with the ball out of his hands? Then you look at guys like PJ Dozier from South Carolina, who may be more of a combo guard. But again, if he's on the wing, I think he could develop really nicely, especially with his defensive acumen that he picked up at South Carolina. Same goes with his teammate, Sindarius Thornwell. And one guy who, if VJ Beacham, because at times at Notre Dame he would play defense and at times, wasn't there, but his shot is so pure. Outside of probably Luke Kennard and Malik Monk, he's got the best jumper in this class.
All right, guys, that's what we have to say about the 2017 NBA draft class for the wing position. Let us know what you think. What's your top 5 list? Do you agree with us or not? Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening, guys. We're out.